Welcome back here to Mountain Connections. Artist lovers are going to absolutely love this next segment. I'm excited to have artist Teshia here with us. We had her here about a year ago, but she has brought another piece, and this time it's even bigger. So exciting to have her here. Teshia, how are you doing today?
Good, Diego. How are you?
I'm doing great. Always a pleasure to have you guys here. Tell me a little bit about how you've been over this last year since we've seen you. What have you been up to?
A lot. I've just been painting my heart out.
Yeah.
I've been super busy. We went to Africa a year ago, did a whole African wildlife series.
Very
that
nice.
Was awesome. And yeah, I've just been doing traveling and painting. And
that's really awesome. Just getting inspired by your travels as well. That's really cool.
I
would
very
definitely
inspired by
love
travel.
to see those African wildlife pieces.
Yeah.
And here right now we have an absolutely monumental moose right behind us. Tell me a little bit about this piece specifically. Where did you get the inspiration? And obviously, moose in real life, if you've ever seen one, are actually about this size.
Right,
so,
yeah.
So is that the inspiration for going so big with this piece?
Yes, I have ventured into pretty much creating life-size animals, sometimes over life-size.
A little bit over, but yeah.
And I love bringing out the energy and the just majesty of these animals and how big and powerful and strong they are, and just infused with the color to bring out their personalities and energy and life, and kind of a friendliness aspect to them.
Absolutely. I love the amount of color that you use in your pieces because, as you said, it does bring the whole piece to life, but it also shows kind of the soul behind the animal, right?
Yes.
When we see a lot of animals, you don't think that, you don't get that a lot of the time. So seeing this and seeing all of that color kind of brings that out and presents that to you, which is really, really cool. Tell me about the methodology. What are we looking at here specifically in terms of what materials did you use to create this?
So these are acrylic on canvas paintings that I do. And yeah, I just use a lot of different layers of color. I usually start with the background and then build my base layers of fur from there.
Really, that's so cool. And I think that the building upon each layer really adds to the depth, and it really looks lifelike. Even though the fur has a lot of color to it, it really does look like real fur, which I think is really, really cool. So you do a really great job with that.
Yeah, like you can pet them. And then I usually finish with really kind of lustrous metallic accents. Okay. So like this one has a lot of gold in it, and I use a lot of silvers and pearls, so they almost change in different lighting situations, and they can just kind of change the look of the animal, which is a lot of fun.
That's really cool. Yeah, the perfect example right now is the horns. If you can see, when you first brought the piece in under the light, you couldn't really see that gold, but now that the light is shining right there, it looks really, really awesome. I have to ask you, where do you start on a piece this big? I know a lot of artists, I know you said the background, but in terms of actually forming the moose, where do you begin? Do you begin with the eye? Do you begin with the head shape? How does it start?
Sure. So I start out with a sketch to get my proportions and everything accurate. And then I start painting the background to build the layers of the fur. And I actually paint the eyes last, which is different from a lot of artists because, and they might look a little creepy until I get to that last point because their eyes are not there. Missing. Right. But I like to make the animal come to life at the end.
I love that.
And so I'll get everything right and how I want it and how I think it looks best. And then the eye is what just makes it come alive for me and finishes it off.
So that kind of is the finishing touch.
Yeah.
And as they say, eyes are windows to the soul. So it's kind of a really cool way to kind of finish that off. And as you said, kind of bring it to life at the end.
Yes.
With all of that color as well. Tell me a little bit about where you're going to be showcasing some more of your pieces. Is the rest of the series this size as well? Did you go really big with this whole series?
There are several big pieces. I brought 6 large pieces down. We sold one yesterday, and this guy is the second largest. The biggest one, this one's 8 by 6 feet. The largest one I brought is 6 by 10 or 8 by 10 feet,
wow.
I believe.
That's amazing.
2 running buffalo.
2 running buffalo.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love seeing the motion that you do in a lot of your pieces as well. You had a bear last year that had some motion built into the piece as well, which looked really, really great. Tell me a little bit about your method. Like how do you get in the zone to create a piece like this? Is music involved? What do you do?
Oh, I do a lot of things. Sometimes I just listen to TV, the morning shows.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to music and get pumped up sometimes. I really like inspirational podcasts and kind of self-development sort of stuff.
That's really cool.
I'm really into visionary things, so I have a vision board, and I I kind of, get into my mental process in the morning and kind of, get in
Let
the
it
flow.
take you from there. That's
Yeah.
really, really cool. I love that. And where are you going to be showcasing these pieces specifically so people in the community can
Sure.
come check them out? Here on TV, it doesn't do it justice. You really have to come stand next to this piece to
Yeah.
really see all of the amazing detail and work that you put into this.
Yeah. So we're having a show tonight and tomorrow night at Park City Fine Art right on Main Street, and it'll be from 6 to 9 p.m. And my work is always at Park City Fine Art, so these pieces may not last long. They tend to sell out usually after
absolutely.
this weekend, but I'll be bringing more work all the time, and so yeah, it's a great place to go and see my originals.
That's great. And we are having a lot of questions about how long does it take for one of these pieces, especially this big. You must put in so many hours and a lot of work into these.
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends how many hours I'm willing to spend in my studio for the day, but usually paintings take me anywhere from a couple of weeks to a month, maybe a little over a month. This
That's
one
great.
was around a month, maybe
That's
a
great.
little over.
It's really beautiful. You did a phenomenal job,
Thank
as
you.
always, with all of your pieces. I think you're such a great artist, and
Thank you so much.
I love the way that you really add a lot of color and life to all of the animals that you paint. So you can head over to Park City Fine Art to check out Teshia's amazing pieces, and as she said, you're going to want to hurry over there because they tend to go pretty quick. And I'm telling you, you're going to want to see this amazing moose piece in person. The scale is absolutely phenomenal. We'll be right back with much more right here on Mountain Connections. Don't go anywhere.